There's been some money for the top weight, and Haydock, it's at $7.50, same price for Order of Command. Now, Odeon got out to 15, it's back to 10. Ring-a-ding-ding was in single figures, it's out to 11. And
very talented horse, and I think this is right in his distance range, but it'll be a good training performance, I think, from each camp, and that's all.
Dubai's just out to 440. Haydock's come in, as I mentioned. Teleplay's now into single figures, so again, there's a move for another one there. Ring-a-ding-ding.
Ready to run, 1,300 metres. Set to go. They're racing towards the outside. Dubay away fairly. Haydock began with zest with Odeon. Not too far away, Order of Command. And now deeper on the track, Home of the Brave looking for a forward position. Teleplay got to 5th. Then Ring-a-Ding-Ding, Lavendi and Dubay is last. Haydock with a clear lead heading towards the 1,000 marker by about a length and 3/4 to Home of the Brave, who worked up to be 3/4 of a length off the dock. Then Order of Command the inside of Odeon, a length and a half. Next is Teleplay, Ring-a-Ding-Ding, Dubay second last, the fence, Lavendi last. So it's Haydock coming up towards the 700 metres, the dual Group 1 winner, leading by a length to Home of the Brave. Order of Command is third from Odeon, then Ring-a-Ding-Ding, 4 off the pace from Teleplay, Lavendi and Dubay is last. They run for the money, 500 metres to go. Haydock tried to stack them up, a length and a quarter, Home of the Brave, then Odeon, Order of Command, Teleplay. Behind those, Ring-a-Ding-Ding, Dubay's trying to edge into the clear from Lavendi. It's Haydock at the 350, Nurse to that point. Home of the Brave in hot pursuit. Odeon, Teleplay back to the inside, followed by Dubay. Haydock's got a kick at the 150. Teleplay the inside. Home of the Brave still there and Odeon. Haydock grabbed by Teleplay. Home of the Brave lifting. Teleplay, Home of the Brave. Head bobbing go, another close one. Home of the Brave or Teleplay, don't know. Haydock for third, photo 4, Ring-a-Ding-Ding, Dubay, then Odeon. Terrific race. A gap, Lavendi and Order of Command. Photo finish. Photo here between Home of the Teleplay. Teleplay has got the head down at a crucial point. Home of the Brave got the bob in right before the line, but Teleplay, under the urgings of Ben Mellon, will get the head down at a crucial point right on the mirror and win it by a nose. We stand by for that officially, but Teleplay number 9, Ben Kent Jr., then Dubay, as we stand by for the placings to become official. But it is Teleplay on the inside, $10.80. Gee, she's just got her head down right where it mattered.
The story coming into the race was the return of Haydock. He was impressive on speed, eventually finishing third in his first run for 14 months. He heads to the Winterbottom in Perth, but to the victor, credit where it's due. Her third stakes win, so won the listed sprint on Cup Day last year, then won the Mares Group 3 on Cup Day, and again, able to scrape the paint to victory. They just opened up a passage for her.
Wasn't meant to be today, but Teleplay is a mare in form. All credit to her. Home of the Brave so close, but look at Haydock. I mean, he's only been beaten half a length there, and he was had to lead the field up. I mean, we know that he's a multiple Group 1 winner, but he's had such a long break. What a great return to racing for him, and we're now going to see
him pretty brazen and a fair to remember. Since 1985, only 5 fillies have won the Guineas.
I think they can add to that tally this year. I think they've both got great chances in the race, but yeah, I was with the fair to remember, but Pretty Brazen's going to be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think those two can make it 6. Jane, who do you like from the yard?
Yeah, I'm with Pretty Brazen. As I said, thought she looked outstanding 2 starts ago at Caulfield.
Set for the Sandown Guineas, Group 2, ready to run. And away they go. Diasonic from barrier number 1 away midfield. Banquo out quickly with Pretty Brazen, Defend and Heart of Puissance. Not too far away, A Fair to Remember and Conqueror. And on the inside, Diasonic. So there's almost about 7 or 8 across the track in the first 300 metres. A Fair to Remember is going to dip out of that battle and go back to third last. Second last is Sir Lofton. J-Rod 2 is at the end. Heart of Puissance at the 1200 is going to work to the lead from Defend. Pretty Brazen third. Banquo 3 deep improving. Then 150 metres meters to run. Harder Puissance tries to settle in the lead by a length and a quarter. Second is Banquo, Pretty Brazen, third the inner, and they were followed by Defend. Diasonic fifth the rails, and then came Conqueror. Affair to Remember third last, second last Sir Loft, and at the end of the field is J-Rod 2. Harder Puissance with a cheap split here coming up towards the turn, led by a length to Banquo. Conqueror moves up 3 and 4 deep. They were followed by Defend, Pretty Brazen right behind the speed, and then came Diasonic. Affair to Remember's third last and wide with J-Rod 2, Sir Loft. Harder Puissance joined by Banquo and Pretty Brazen back to the inside. Past the 400, Pretty Brazen takes the lead with Banquo, and they were followed by Conqueror, who's lifting down the outside. It's Banquo and Pretty Brazen. Pretty Brazen puts up 3/4 Banquo and Conqueror. Pretty Brazen drives away up the 100, about 3/4 Banquo. Conqueror coming again, and Harder Puissance back to the inner. Pretty Brazen's holding on, gripping on, and won the Guineas. Pretty Brazen beat Conqueror or Harder Puissance, who came again. Then Diasonic late for 4 from Banquo in a gripping finish. Behind those then was Affair to Remember, J-Rod 2, Sir Loft, and last a gap away Defend.
Nice performance there by Pretty Brazen, able to win in style. She breaks a drought for the fillies, as we mentioned. There hasn't been too many wins since 1983. She is now only the 6th favourite the filly to win here, and she's continued a very good trend for Tony and Calvin McAvoy today with a classy performance here. Needed all the strength over the final stages. Conqueror for second, Harder Puissance gets third, and we've got a photo for fourth at the moment. But Hutch, she is tough and she's got a bit of class.
She won 3 or 4 since a Bendigo Class 1, finished really strongly in the Hong Kong Jockey Club Stakes on Cup Day, but was similar with both these McAvoy trained 3-year-old fillies yesterday. They were able to give a really strong kick at about the 300 and stave off all the challenges.
Oh, they're both absolutely airborne, these two fillies, and they came in. There was a lot of punter confidence with both Keelong and also Pretty Brazen. And Pretty Brazen, well, we can see her back on the fence there. She's lobbed in the perfect spot. What also needs to be said about this race is Heart of Puissance, who's the really talented Puissance de Lune colt. He's actually leading. Mark Zara elected to take up the running on this horse, and we can see his ears are pricked. It might look like he's going at a pretty pedestrian tempo because of that, but he's actually bowling along, and on Vince Accardi's daily sectionals data, he's going 10 lengths faster than standard to the 800-metre mark. Then he does slacken significantly between the 8 and the 4, and then the sprint comes on again, and as a result, he's left a little bit flat-footed, but we can see Pretty Brazen back to the inside. She's got a lot of running, and she was really impressive yesterday.
Let's pick up Matt Hill's call of Pretty Brazen winning the Sandown Guineas.
And they were followed by Conqueror, who's lifting down the outside. It's Banquo and Pretty Brazen. Pretty Brazen puts up 3/4 Banquo and Conqueror. Pretty Brazen drives away up the 100, about 3/4 Banquo. Conqueror coming again, and Harder Puissance back to the inner. Pretty Brazen's holding on, gripping on, and won the Guineas. Pretty Brazen.
Certainly justifying and vindicating a lot of the $700,000 they spent to take this daughter of Brazen Beau. Of course, is out of Pretty Penny, which has also provided the McAvoys with dollar for dollar an outstanding horse for them as well. So on Heart of Puissance, not to dilute the victory of Pretty Brazen, but this horse had its first run 4 weeks ago at Warrnambool. It's you know, unlucky probably in the end to win what would have been an unlikely victory in the Sandown Guineas. Autumn beckons for this horse.
I think when we look back at this race in a year's time, Heart of Puissance will be the best horse coming out of the race, and that's not taking anything away from the winner, who I thought was absolutely superb yesterday. But to me, he's just the unfinished article. He's big and gangly and doesn't really know what it's all about, and you know, switches on, switches off, and you know, as he gets up in trip and matures and puts on a bit more condition, I think he's just going to be an exceptional 3-year-old into his 4-year-old year as well. So he's the one to follow for me out of the race.
Well, he's very raw.
Back to racing.com, it's time for the main event here today. So the market, and it's dominated by Southern France. Now, it did get as low as $2.50. We probably overreacted there. We sort of pulled the market back out a bit, but it is at $2.90. It is the favourite. $4.40 for Humidor. Then there's a bit of a gap to Gallic Chieftain, Dal Harold and Miss Siska. The stable going very well today, so that's coming.
Set to run. Field of 10 ready. Mile and a half, racing in the Zipping Classic. Gallic Chieftain just a shade slow. Chapada began well with Ventura Storm, and Del Harold's right up there with Miss Siska, and Midterm is zipping over from that wide gate. Southern France is in the back half wide from Gallic Chieftain Patrick Erin, then Humidor second last, and Savioke at the rear. That's the order at the judge. A lap of the hillside track to go. Del Harold further back is Humidor, Southern France, and Savioke is at the end. Del Harold's quickened down the back at the 1200 metres and is just starting to string them out a bit. About a length and a quarter Midterm, a length and a half Ventura Storm third, and then came the mare Miss Siska as they reached the 1000 metres. About 2.5 Chapada, Patrick Erin, then Gallic Chieftain Humidor. Second last is Southern France, and a length and a half to Savioke at the end of the top corner. 800 metres to go in the Zipping Classic, and it's Del Harold by a half length, kept up to his work by Midterm. Ventura Storm is poised in the box seat. Then Miss Siska, a length and a quarter Chapada, Patrick Erin. Then came Gallic Chieftain. Humidor is third last. Southern France, Zara's just rowing along there, and at the end of the field, Savioke into the straight. Del Harold has a few chasing down the dip at the 450. Midterm's trying to get on terms. Ventura Storm getting off their back from Miss Siska, and then Chapada down the outside from Gallic Chieftain. Southern France is the widest and winding up. They've got to Del Harold. Miss Siska takes the lead at the 200 from Chapada. Midterm. Southern France down the outside. Miss Siska 100 to go. Southern France gobbles it up. Southern France lets down now, and Southern France with a devastating win. Scored a length and 3/4. Photo second. Chapada from Miss Siska. Gallic Chieftain also there. Then Midterm, Humidor, Ventura Storm, Savioke, Patrick Erin. Del Harold got tired and finished amongst the tail enders.
Southern France wins the Group 2 Zipping Classic over the 2400 metres and now becomes the 8th runner since 2007 to run in the Melbourne Cup, then come to the Zipping Classic and get success. Hutch?
Yeah, terrific win, and was a popular win too here with the crowd as they shouted Southern France home, sat out the back, really appeared to enjoy what looked to be a good solid tempo in the race. They were well strung out. There were many lengths first to last, and Mark Zara just bided his time, gave Southern France plenty of room out wide on the track, and he did the rest.
Yeah, really nice performance, and nice to see a staying race run with a little bit of speed on too. So a genuinely run contest. And
to Wait for Age Zipping Classic, and as we said, Southern France continues what's been a glittering run for horses backing up from the Melbourne Cup. So the record now is 10 winners from the 43 who've contested this race off a Melbourne Cup since it became a Wait for Age event. Got its way down the outside to defeat Miss Siska. Geez, what a spring she's had coming through. An Empire Rose, second in the Matriarch last week, and then backs up again for the third consecutive Saturday. We'll get a little bit further than it.
Interesting. I know that Mark Zara obviously copped a infringement from the stewards for his stick use, but when he actually asked the horse to go, the horse looked like it was under a little bit of pressure, and he actually took a while to pick himself up. Once he got into full flight, well, then the race was pretty much over. He was quite dominant in the end, but there were some nice performances.
Come on, and we can see everyone trying to make their moves in Southern France.
Well, he did look like he was under a little bit of pressure, whereas if you look at Miss Siska and horses like Chapada, they were travelling. I actually thought, well, this is probably the best performance we've seen of Chapada this time in, but we'll take the final stages.
Miss Siska takes the lead at the 200 from Chapada. Midterm. Southern France down the outside. Miss Siska 100 to go. Southern France gobbles it up. Southern France lets down now, and Southern France with a devastating win.
I wouldn't say it was a consistent pattern across all 10 races yesterday, Simo, but you felt like we didn't see the winner before the dip at any race yesterday, and Southern France, as we said, Mark Zara got some momentum happening around the bend, but then it had probably another 50 to 100 metres before it could really straighten up and muster that velocity required.
Yeah, and from the 600, I thought he was in a bit of trouble because he was, I think Matty Hill used the phrase, he was being rode along, and he probably was the first horse off the bit. But you could see as soon as they straightened up and he balanced out that he had the... he just had that superior stamina, and you know, the last 200 metres he was just drawing away. I know he was an expensive horse. Colin McKenna and the team have paid a lot of money to bring this horse out to Australia. Probably question as to whether he's a too 2-mile horse. I think his best trip's probably a mile and a half in a genuine tempo race, which he found yesterday. So congratulations to Kieran and David and the team. They won both the feature staying races on the card, and you know, this is a horse I think.
He is one of those horses that you have to keep an eye on, that he doesn't get too above himself and buzzed up. And I think for him, this is a pretty good parade. He does look like he wants to explode, but I think he has done all through this preparation.
Real wobble there, $3.80 out to $4.60. Savatiano, $4.80 to $5, back into $4.60. Tactical Advantage is $9.50 to $11, but back into $8.50. Manicure, $11 into $9.50.
Show his real form. A very big crowd, great atmosphere here for Newcastle's first $1 million race. This is the first ever running of the Hunter.
The local stallion, Graf the favourite. Renewal buzzing up on the inside gate. Hunter says go now. They're off and racing, and Bonavie anticipated the start very well. Savatiano out deep as push forward. Fiesta's pretty close in the early stages of the race, and going forward is Sir Plush with Goodfella handy as well. They're followed off the speed to Invincible Gem from Renewal, then Graf about midfield. Further back then to Manicure is off the track, and the white hat from Jonker. Tactical Advantage. Well back is Redouble from Siren's Fury, and Brave Song is the last one. Savatiano found the front now by a length and a half to Le Romain, who pushed on to second. Bonamy leaders back third, a length further back to Goodfella, then Fiesta. Invincible Gem 3 wide on the outside is Sir Plush. Then came Graf with a cart into the race. Further back to Renewal on the fence from Manicure. Then Jonker, Tactical Advantage, Brave Song, and then came Redouble and Siren's Fury top of the straight, and Savatiano being cuddled by a length and a half. Le Romain is flat to the boards. Fiesta gets going. Then came Bonamy further back to Goodfella. Sir Plush, Invincible Gem. Graf gives away a massive start, and Savatiano's kicked away. Savatiano 3 lengths clear from Bonamy. Fiesta, Tactical Advantage late, but Savatiano has got them beaten. Savatiano led all the way from Tactical Advantage and Bonamy. Followed up by Siren's Fury flashing with Renewal. Fiesta dropping out from Jonker, then Goodfella from Manicure. Sir Plush, Redouble, Jonker, Graf not a factor, nor Invincible Gem. Le Romain dropped right out of it, and Brave Song.
Savatiano leads all the way from a wide alley and wins the first ever Hunter. They've had many, many wins on this.
If they can grow on it, the locals will get behind it. We had a good field and a worthy winner, as it turned out. She was very, very dominant. McDonald had a great day.
Is piling up a good record. She's a very, very valuable mare there. She is in front. James McDonald stole it from the front.
Yeah, and he rode her perfectly because he let her run. He let her run fast enough to be left alone. She once and for all proved that she doesn't run a mile, so a master stroke by James Cummings and Godolphin to freshen her back to the 1300 and just let her use her speed to her advantage, and she did so, leaving the the rest of them no excuse. Although he got held up a little bit there, Tactical Advantage. He was great, considering there was we're all a little bit worried about him at 1300, but he come through a Melbourne run as well. Bonamy, box seater, did a great job first up at 1300. Other than that, I don't think there was too many excuses. Fiesta raced a little closer than expected and may have just been a little bit fresh there. Siren's Fury is always catching the eye running on in her races, but all in all, I think a worthy winner, Gaz.
Without doubt, brilliant. That excited him and his wife.
I suppose the talking point is Graf, Lizzie. She's just a mystery. They couldn't find anything wrong with him.
Yeah, in the reports there was nothing wrong with him, and obviously they've got to take him home and figure out what's going on, because we can see he looks in his trials like he wants to be a racehorse, but he's certainly not performing what he's doing at the trials coming to the races, and he hasn't been doing it for quite some time. So they've got a few questions to ask of him, and I did see in the stewards report here at Wollongong. Obviously, we're going to have find the pick of the heart. I'm looking for Star of the Seas to be able to take out the inaugural gong. He looks in great order. Hopefully that trip down to Melbourne hasn't made him go backwards, but because I'm certainly seeing a horse who looks in great order. Lover.
The winner, 7, 6, 4 and 2. I'm with Military Zone from Lover. El Dorado Dreaming and 2 Star of the Seas.
Ronnie, I've gone 2, 6, 4 and 15. I'm just not going to change my tips here. This will be
Lover with the blinkers going back on you, Tom.
top pick.
Yeah, the old blinkers, just to extract a little bit extra from her. Hopefully that works. And yeah, she's very much in the mix. Fantastic race, lots of chances in it. And if she...
Surf Club's feature event. A massive crowd as the field lines up to race for $1 million. This is the first edition of the Gong.
Racing in the Gong, and jumping well was Taikamochi to take the early lead. Military Zone's there, and Star of the Sea, Jonker going forward, and Jonker's going to take it up. Nicoletta gets the run across to second. Taikamochi third from Mr. Seawolf, and Star of the Sea's a very handy fifth early. Quacker Jack is clearly beaten for speed, contesting sixth there together with Goodfella. They're followed then by Asterius on the inside of Lover Lover, and deeper out then is Looks Like Elvis, followed by Noble Boy, Military Zone. Further back to El Dorado Dreaming, third last from Sir Plush, and Tamarack sees them all. So Jonker heads them up at the 1,000, out by a length on Nicoletta. Boy Quacker Jack, the Goulburn Cup winner's doing plenty of work in third. Then came Taikamochi on the Looks Like Elvis, Military Zone between them. Two further back to Noble Boy, El Dorado Dreaming, Sir Plush, and Tamarack is last. The big field turn the corner in the Gong, and it's Jonker just in front from Quacker Jack the outside. Then Nicoletta, Mr. Seawolf, Taikamochi, Star of the Seas getting a gap. Further back to Goodfella, and Lover Lover getting right to the outside. Mr. Seawolf and Quacker Jack go to the front together. Lover Lover and Military Zone is coming through late. Mr. Seawolf, Quacker Jack from Military Zone. Mr. Seawolf with the head in front from Quacker Jack. Mr. Seawolf, the Wolf. Mr. Seawolf just beat Quacker Jack in a great finish. Star of the Seas third. Then Military Zone from Lover Lover. El Dorado Dreaming, flashing when it was all over. Then came Sir Plush, Noble Boy, Nicoletta, Looks Like Elvis, Goodfella from Mysterious, Taikamochi, Jonker, and Tamarack.
Mr. Seawolf has won the $1 million The Gong, and J-Mac takes out a big double. The Hunt of the Gong. Quacker Jack, Brave, Star of the Seas third. Well, Chris Waller, he's won the Everest, he's won the Golden Eagle, he's won the Gong.
Wow, he got the big odds for a class horse. Well, beautifully presented by... after the race, and he was big odds, but... he run him. He won the Shannon with him, and then he brought him back in distance to the Redzell and had him primed up for the mile. It was a terrific training performance, and you know he carried the 59, so it's pretty hard to make any excuses for anything else in the race. He simply was too good for him. There's no doubt about it, Wayne.
True, and lucky horses in a few of those last races, wasn't there?
Hey, Quacker Jack, he's a beauty. He just loves a fight, and he did go down fighting. There's no doubt about that. Star of the Seas, he seemed to have his chance. Plus, he got in a bit of trouble for overuse of the whip there and got rubbed out in a fine as well. Military Zone probably had to just come back that little bit further than they wanted to. He just had to drag back a length or two back, so you can make a little excuse for him. And Lover Lover was just wrong part of the track.
El Dorado Dreaming?
Yeah, she's becoming frustrating. She's always running on there. I know, maybe a race like the Villiers might suit her back at Randwick, where she's got the big Group 1 to her credit. That's her win, the mile at Randwick, and she's going okay. And she's probably just had that few little setbacks going along the way. So if she pulls up well from that, I wouldn't see why she wouldn't run in a Villiers and run really well.
I think there's a few horses that you can forgive in behind as well, just on that, as Wayne was just alluding to, on that inside.
Welcome back to Sky Thoroughbred Central, 13 minutes away from this year's edition of the Kirin Railway Stakes, $1 million over the mile. Wes, gee, it's an open betting affair this time around.
Gab Cup, the Velvet King won his maiden Group Race 2.
No racing. And it was Ms. Lecky Tomasa, the first to get going. Out very quickly is Samizdat, the Velvet King variation. Reykjavik also is up there in the firing line early, and then came Best of Days. Now Akanar Stars driving forward around, Gatting Perfect Jewel, and back behind them Star Exhibit going over to the back straight, being followed by Platoon. Well back, Tell 'em We're Coming second from last, and the tail ender is Regal Power. They settle into stride at the 1150 onto the Riverside though. Akanar Star around them, three wide in in the middle is Best of Days in the Godolphin blue. Back on the inside to Perfect Jewel, travelling well but getting strung up. Regal Power, Gadding is well back. Star Exhibit and Tell 'em We're Coming, the favourite back last of all, about 10 from the leader, the Velvet King. Parnham's got them running into the corner. Past the 450, the Velvet King led at the top of the straight. Variation, No Run Tomasa, followed by Samizdat and Akanar Star, then Best of Days working into the clear. Then Perfect Jewel over towards the inside with Ms. Lecky going for run as well, and Platoon winding up, and so's Regal Power. The Velvet King's the leader. Samizdat, Best of Days, Platoon. He's coming down the outside, and so's Regal Power. Regal Power levels up, grabs the lead. It's Regal Power. Regal Power on the outside. The Wizard has done it again in the Railway Stakes. Regal Power has cut Best of Days down with Platoon close up, and also Akanar Star and Samizdat. They were followed home on the inside by Ms. Lecky. The Velvet King Gatting. A gap then Star Exhibit, Perfect Jewel, Variation, Reykjavik and Tomasa has trailed them home.
Regal Power has come from the back to win the Railway Stakes, and in doing so gives Willie Pike his third victory in the Group 1. He won last year with Galaxy Star. He won on Elite Bell back in 2014, and he brings up the hat-trick. A tremendous finishing burst right down the outside, and will grab Best of Days. Brad Rawiller giving the gelding every conceivable chance, and as he do,
Pike, you just have to love the man.
This is a horse that won, of course, at last preparation, the Derby here, over a mile and a half. He tackles the mile second up after a slashing second in the Asian Bow, and widest of all, and he has won
to the top of the home straight, and really looked the winner for more than a fleeting moment for Brad Rawiller. And what about the run of Platoon? He couldn't win an RJ Peters at Group 3 last week to get automatic entry into the race. He snuck in as a Metro 82 in a 102 plus race. He's going to get around 15 or 20 points just for running third in the Group 1.
And that the Velvet King's the leader. Samizdat, Best of Days, Platoon. He's coming down the outside, and so's Regal Power. Regal Power levels up, grabs the lead. It's Regal Power. Regal Power on the outside. The Wizard has done it again in the Railway Stakes. Regal Power has cut Best of Days down with Platoon close up. And
it's just a phenomenal win. Coming that wide around the home turn, it didn't look like it was being run to be set up for backmarkers, Duff.
No, and geez, it's hard to make excuses for anything behind him. He's a very strong horse, isn't he? And to do what he did, I didn't look at the sectionals or the times, but they didn't seem to be going that hard up front. And an amazing win from a horse that's obviously come back really well from a derby.
Darren, is there any history? Duff said, were there any other hard luck stories at all?
I really couldn't see there. I thought that at the end of the day, Regal Power was just too good, because he conceded them a pretty big head start. He was off the corner there when they made that sweeping run for home, and he just cut them down. He ran over the top of them. I thought Best of Days was our horse.
Let's have a look at the Kingston Town market now, which is where Regal Power's going. Tuscan Queen, the champion fillies winner, $4.50 in front of Regal Power. Best of Days, Galo Chop, Packardali. So we're going to see an injection of other horses here. Apart from what we saw in the Railway, Darren, there's more to come in the Kingston Town.
Yeah, I think at $11 there too, just quickly casting an eye over the latest market that we see, and that is Star Exhibit, Dual Perth Cup.
1, 13, 3 and 7. We've seen in recent years the best horse has won the race, and Trekking, in my eyes, is the best horse in the race. He should sit 1 out and 4 back. He will be midfield. He will need something. He will need some luck to go his way at some stage, but his recent runs have been enormous. Number 1 on Trekking to give Godolphin their first Western Australian Group 1. From 13, Flirtini, who I think is the best of the local hopes. She's gone to a new level this campaign. She's already gone up 20 points in the handicap ratings, and I think that she can win this with the right track into the race. Number 3, Hey Doc, was very, very good in the Heffernan. The question mark remains, can he reproduce it here at 1200? And number 7, Viridine, who's probably, in terms of the market, he's the third stringer of the Godolphin team, but I thought that he might get the right run in transit.
Time and on track today since the previous race. There hasn't been many changes to this market. Trekking staying there at 280. Where do we go next? Down the board to Vital Silver. 9 into $8. Flirtini. $6.50 Flirtini. And there's
Bottles in there. Gates fly now. They're racing in the Winterbottom Stakes, and Trekking is very slow out of the gates. Haydock had jumped quickly, so did Vital Silver, Misty Metal. Endless Drama and Old Rock Magic had sprung the gates very quickly, so did the Victorian Colt Dubious just behind those, with Viridine out wider. Now pushing up on the inside, Trekking. Malaguirre found himself wide. Stage Man's back there as well. Spirit of Valor, Valor Road together. Home of the Brave, and last of all is the mare Flutini. 700 left to go. Haydock from his wide gate was able to cruise over and lead. It's Haydock. He steadied for Curry. A little more than a length on the WA Grey up running second. Vital Silver cruising. On the fence, Old Rock Magic being followed by Viridine around them, covering ground between horses. Misty Metal, Malaguirre. Then Spirit of Valor, who's right off the track with his run, and Stage Man is starting to sneak up behind them as Trekking tries to weave his way through. Haydock's cruising at the 200. Haydock, he lets him down. He's stuck a length and a half. Rock Magic's into the clear. He's trying to run him down, but it's Haydock dominant in front, and Haydock all the way. Haydock goes on to win the Winterbottom from Vital Silver, Rock Magic, Trekking. Flirtini from last was absolutely monstering the line late. Dubious behind them, Viridine, Stage Man, followed by Spirit of Valor, Valor Road, Misty Metal and Endless Drama, Malaguirre, and the last of them home is Home of the Brave.
Well, what a training triumph by Tony McAvoy, and for the first time he can share this moment with his son Calvin. What a training performance. Haydock, already a two-time Group 1 winner, is now into the winners list again. 12.80 and 3.70. The local Vital Silver was brave, and number 4 has
put the writing on the wall, and to come here today and take out a Group 1 after the time that he had off. How proud are you?
Oh, I am proud. He's a special horse to me. He really
Thank you so much.
Probably cemented my relationship with Tony McAvoy, which is...
To both of you, good morning. Yes, it was certainly one of those Winterbottoms which probably became a bit underwhelming with the build-up to it, and after Haydock was able to cross and didn't have to absorb any pressure whatsoever from horses that we expected to go forward, and left them just gaping on the home corner, it really did make it a one-act affair, didn't it? And he got it awfully cheaply.
He's come back incredible.
Was this race always on the radar after the Heffernan?
Look, Ronnie, the races that he could run in are so few because of his ratings. So there was the VRC Sprint, the Heffernan and the Winterbottom, and I missed the VRC Sprint. He just wasn't quite ready, and so I decided not to take those high-class horses on, and we waited for the Heffernan, which was a bit softer, and he didn't quite have him right, but that tipped him off for today.
Has this trip to Perth...
It's a fair income gift, but when you just look at the times of the race, he's run just outside of course record. Yeah. So it was just controlled speed, really.
It was incredible, Ron. Like, watching the race, Luke and I were concerned from that gate how much work we'd have to do to cross. We were always going to go forward, and he pinged the gate, and we decided the plan was to stay out wide and don't get involved in that getting your spot. And
trying to run him down, but it's Haydock dominant in front, and Haydock all the way. Haydock goes on to win the Winterbottom from Vital Silver, Rock Magic, Trekking. Flirtini from last was absolutely monstering the line late.
Yeah, cruising all right, and it looked so easy. The time says he ran fast. Now let's just have a brief look at some of the beaten brigade, Duff. What do you make of some of the others?
Well, look, it's hard to say. You know, Stageman never got clear at any stage, but he was the only one that you could say, well, what would have happened. Vital Silver was great, did his thing. Rock Magic had the run. They were 1, 2, 3 the whole way. That's what's put us into a false sense of security, saying, well, they've walked, but they haven't.
I think the big run was that of the mare, Flirtini, who was last. She peeled off the quickest last 600, 33.47, and she just conceded too much of a head start, but she made up many, many lengths there in the cerise colours, the extreme outside.
Yeah, and I would have thought Viridine being a little slow out, sorry, not Viridine, Trekking being a little slow out the barriers, just lost his position there, but you still would have liked to see him charge right through, you know, past Rock Magic there late, and Dubious seemed to, I think they wanted to be up on top of the speed, and he
didn't gather his legs from that beautiful draw that he had as well. So it turned out the horses drawing out wide with the speed just counteracted those horses inside.
And continues the domination of interstate sprinters that have come over here over the last 5 years. It's just been one after the other. And the West...
Order. He has to take the next leap to wait for age here, but it's hard to knock his dynamic form at the moment.
OK, Ollie's...
He loses his races at the 800 when he loses concentration, so hopefully Sean McGrady can keep his mind on the task today, and he's got a powerful turn of foot.
Yeah, and he switched on with those blinkers on today. Very wary of him. I can't let him go a loser for me in the race, and he is an exciting horse. I love the way he ran through the line the other day.
The fillies, KC, Stephen and Neville Parnham.
KC with Steve Parnham in the saddle, who's ridden 3 Kingston Town winners, 2 on 3-year-olds playing Golden It's a Him. 50 kilos, no worries. She's going to get tracking up into the midfield. Oh, I think she's awfully hard to beat.
Yeah, well, there's too much between her and the bottom one in the market, so you think the favourite's got to run well, you've got to save on her.
And Pike is on his way on the favourite, number 16, Tuscan Queen. Willie Pike for Grant and Alana Williams. Pike wears the light blue cap.
I think by the time that they jump around the 350, 360 mark is about right for her, Tuscan Queen. She showed gate speed in the Burgess Queen, which means she can put herself into a position to take full advantage from that alley. 1,800 metres, no worries. Profile's a Kingston Town winner.
Yeah, she's no Arcadia Queen, but she's certainly very, very talented, and that barrier's just a luxury. She's got Pike's seal of approval getting down to 50 kilos here. That's a ticket itself. So look, I've got a tipper as well, 16, 15, 7, 11. I'm with her. I think she's the best winning chance. Whether she's a betting proposition is a little question mark at the price, but she certainly profiles beautifully here. I think KC, if you put Tuscan Queen in, you've got to put KC in there somewhere. I think Peckett...
They're racing. KC jumped away well on the inside with Best of Days. Dig Deep. Tuscan Queen was pushed out early on by Pike. He wants to be forward, and Tally and Galo Chop with Pakadali out near the middle of the track are starting to surge across. Right behind those Superstormers they got going, being followed by Platoon, a length and a half to Gatting. Mississippi Delta, the Velvet King, back off the speed today. They're being followed by back last is Akanar Star as Johnny Allen goes to the lead with Galo Chop at the 1200 in the Kingston Town, and Galo Chop led a length and a half on Pakadali. A length and a half away then the favourite, the filly. Tuscan Queen third. KC's only a length off her, running fourth. 3/4 of a length away is Dig Deep. Back on the inside, Best of Days, shaded by Gatting. Then Tally a little wider out, being followed by Mississippi Delta. Platoon back in the centre. McGrady has to steady Superstorm. Back there pulling hard. Star Exhibit 3 deep on the track. Regal Powers back there as well. Jericho Missile followed by the Velvet King, and Dakanar Star still whipped the field in at the 650. Galo Chop led them a length and a half to Pakadali. Gatting well placed coming to the home corner by Warwick. On the fence, KC pushing up now. She's got about a head in front of Tuscan Queen, but it's about to pull out 3 deep. They're being followed by Mississippi Delta. Best of Days has come off the fence, but Galo Chop sailed for the judge. Clear by about 3 or 4. KC with a run on the inside. Galo Chop, 200 to go. Here comes KC. She's winding up on the inside. Galo Chop's the leader. KC's cutting it down. Best of Days runs to third. KC grabs the lead from Galo Chop. It's KC home, and another one for Stevie Parnham in the Kingston Town. KC beat Galo Chop. Best of Days. Superstorm running on well down near the inside, followed by Regal Power. In behind them then Tuscan Queen. Next home Tally, Gatting, Platoon, Dig Deep, and then Pakadali. Mississippi Delta well back in the field, followed by Akanar Star, Star Exhibit, and then the Velvet King with Jericho Missile, the last of them home.
Stephen Parnham wins his 4th Kingston Town Classic aboard the 3-year-old filly, number 15, KC. And he shares it with his father, Neville Parnham, who himself wins another Kingston Town Classic. Galo Chop, brave, he just kept running, and it didn't look like they were going to be able to run him down. But a big weight pull of 9 kilos in the end allows the filly KC to beat Galo Chop. Then it was Best of Days, and then it was Superstorm in behind those. Casey.
I'm just so happy.
You're one of the best form students in the room. When you drew barrier 1, what was your intentions going out, and did it all play out just as you'd hoped it would?
I expected it was just perfect.
And what a wonderful filly. You just must be so proud of her.
She's as tough as they come, I tell you. She's just improved, and everything that's been... She's done an amazing job this preparation, and that was a legitimate Group 1. That was a proper race, a good performance.
And Darren Macaulay?
That was a legitimate Group 1. That was a proper race, a good performance.
And Darren Macaulay, you tipped her. You liked her.
I have liked her for some time, actually, Greg, and I'm really pleased that I stuck with KC because there'd been a real shift to Tuscan Queen over the last few weeks. The big build-up and...
With a run on the inside, Galo Chop, 200 to go. Here comes KC. She's winding up on the inside. Galo Chop's the leader. KC's cutting it down. Best of Days runs to third. KC grabs the lead from Galo Chop. It's KC home, and another one for Stevie Parnham in the Kingston Town. KC beat Galo Chop. Best of Days. Superstorm running on well down near the inside, followed by Regal Power. In behind them then Tuscan Queen. Next home Tally, Gatting, Platoon, Dig Deep, and then Packardale.
It that way because she had the 50 kilos on her back, and you know most of the 3-year-olds that have won this race, probably the twice he rode It's a Him and Playing God, he put him in the 1-1 position. Willie put Arcadia Queen last year in a forward position, and I sort of thought that the way Willie would ride Tuscan Queen, the only advice that I gave Stephen, not that I give him a lot how to ride him, but I just said just keep Tuscan Queen within your sights. But he does his form so well, he knew exactly where he was going to be, and he was of the impression that Willie would be 3rd or 4th, and he said I'm going to be there as well.
It was great to watch them on the home corner because they'd split like a deck of cards, didn't they? They were together. Stephen showed his...
Miles 18s where they're not harshly treated with weights, set weights and penalties, that kind of races, but we haven't quite sort of finalised exactly what's going to happen with it, but there's a chance she might get to the East Coast in the spring.
Gee, the 3-year-olds you go. No, we won't get anywhere here, but the gap just closed late. There was a shift from both horses, and Best of Days probably ran where he was going to run 3rd.
Yeah, I think so. He got hampered, and he probably lost his position at a vital stage there when they all went, but I don't think you could... I think a few of them were crying a little bit unlucky, but I'm convinced the right horse won that race. Yeah. Galo Chop was unbelievable. Awesome. He's a legitimate weight for age horse when he's right, and he ran right to the best of his form. He loves to dominate there, and that's his pet distance, that 1800.
They didn't seem to go that quickly. Here's the vision now, and Best of Days is the white cap in behind Galo Chop KC, and there you go. There's
so
that
close
little
to the line.
Almost meat in the sandwich moment, but it wasn't quite there. So.
No. And 1. We'll keep you working, Brass, because the Gold Coast Magic Millions for the 3-year-olds up next. Alligator Blood, it's been well documented, stuck in traffic. Took him 4 hours to get there, what would normally be a 2-hour trip. He's been vetted, passed fit. It's not what you want heading to a $2 million race, but he's there, and all reports he's okay under the circumstances.
Yeah, well, he's...
Rathlin's improved every start. Away game's very natural. They're both drawn a bit wide. They both need a little bit of luck, but couldn't be happy with them. Good luck. Cheers.
Kieran Maher. Okay, let's get the late mail. Duff and Bernie.
Late mail for me, 2, 10, 15 and 3. I'll stay with this Boom Queenslander Alligator Blood. He's just too big a rap on him, and it's hard just to pull hold. Disgraced behind him.
Through the front. So Leviathan's loose. And he might take...
Back to Josh at the Gold Coast. Fingers crossed we can get this 3-year-old Magic Millions run.
Now, they're about to reload. How wonderful. Here we go. The Blood's favourite, Sets Racing, missing the start badly. There was Star Surprise. Alligator Blood came out about 3rd. 05 Glory, Diamond Thunder both going forward. Diamond Thunder's in front now, kicking up the inside as It's Kind of Magic. Alligator Blood 4th, and 5th out 3 wide going forward is How Wonderful Life. Here's 11 trap right off the track going forward there. Also Scout creeping forward, passing King of Hastings. Exhilarates on the outside. Profit 3 wide. GBS on the outside of
Hightail. Third last, Let It Pour. Second last is the Executioner. And last of all, a Star Surprise. Diamond Thunder down the side led the way from How Wonderful Life Is and 05 Glory. Fourth is 11-11. Fifth, the Insiders, It's Kind of Magic. Sixth, the Outsiders, Alligator Blood. He's about 5 lengths off the leader. Then we've got Scout very wide. Next one over on the inside, King of Hastings. Exhilaration, Profit very wide, and Hightail is the next one. Inside the 400 metres marker, Diamond Thunder, How Wonderful Life Is, 11-11. Alligator Blood down the outside. 05 Glory's over on the inside. Diamond Thunder just in front, 11-11. And Alligator Blood. Alligator Blood has dashed to the lead. Trying to rally back as 11-11. Up to third as Exhilarates on the outside, but Alligator Blood, he's sinking his teeth into them. He's racing clear. Alligator Blood by 2.5 to 11-11. Third was Exhilarates ahead of Hightail, King of Hastings, Scout, Profit, Diamond Thunder, Dubious Executioner, followed by Let It Pour, 05 Glory, It's Kind of Magic, How Wonderful Life Is, and Star Surprise.
Well, today we crown the new star of Queensland racing. He has overcome adversity today. A 4-hour float trip to get here. And look what he's done to them. The new star of Queensland. And look at Maloney. You can't wipe the smile off his face. He started grinning. 200 out. Number 2, Alligator. But what an ending.
Yes, look, that trip just knocked him around a little bit. He was a bit tucked up in the yard, and I thought he wasn't looking his best. But these good horses, they just jump the hurdles, and wow, the Queenslander did it in style.
Was there any doubt that he was going to run today? Was it going through your mind?
No, he was going to run. Yeah, he was going to run. He wanted to run.
And you were happy with him once he got here? He settled in well?
Oh, look, I wasn't happy with him, but I wanted to give him the opportunity to do what he does best and get out there and compete in the straight. And, yeah, the horse did the rest.
You can't do much more now. It's just onwards and upwards from here, and now you've got to plan the future.
Oh, well, you know, we got beat in the Guineas, and to see him career away and win a $2 million race like that, it's a big relief.
Where does this sit in you?
How much is this going to affect his performance? And indeed, I went up to the clients before the race, and, you know, they're a lovely group of people, and I said to them, just be aware he's not as good now as he was going to the Vaux Road. But it's like the footballers, you know, they go out there, Jonathan Thurston, they cop and knock, they're not 100%, and they still go out there and they do their best. And
sorry, Dave, you spoke about the Vaux Rogue and you brought it up. You made a statement on Sydney Radio before the Vaux Rogue the other day that this run today will be this horse's career best. He was beaten that far in a Caulfield Guineas. So how much was left in the tank to go into the race yesterday, out of the Vaux Rogue?
I felt he was 100% yesterday morning. But after the events pre-race, he'd lost some of that shine.
Well, looking at that performance there...
What are you thinking with him as far as the future's concerned? Where do you want to peak him up for a 1400, a 1200, a mile, who knows, a 2,000 metre race? Surely you've got something in the back of your head.
Well, look, there's so many options for him now. Maybe we'll get the Australian Guineas out of the way, the All-Age or the All-Stars Mile. We've got the Golden Eagle, dare I say it, an Everest. Will he get to a Cox Plate? I'm not sure, but... he can obviously run a mile. We know that. He came from a bad barrier in the Caulfield Guineas. He was over racing early. He got exposed well before Ryan intended. So we know he gets a strong mile. Will he get the 2,000? The signs this prep are showing me he may, because he switches off with cover so well.
There was a time and a long time. But 2-year-old Magic Millions Classic is coming up next. We've got a good break of 11 minutes until that race. We're going to pick up the coverage with Sky Thoroughbred Central, Greg Radley and the team.
Star Gold Coast Magic Millions 2-year-old Classic worth $2 million and AIM. Oh, what a go. This has been in a big race. Into $4.80 now. Clear favourite over King's Legacy at $6.50. Farnan's got out another turn. In fact, King's Legacy back into $6. Farnan out a half to $7.50. Conceded in every rose. In a half a point each to $9.50. Lady Banff on the
set now. Right to go, racing in the millions, and Kavak, and also Got a Kiss began well. Lady Banff is going forward, likewise Farnan. Also Nitrous and Dusty Tycoon is going forward on the outside. Just in behind those horses is Away Game. Euphoric Summer aims over on the inside of King's Legacy. Stella Pauline conceded very wide. A length and a half further back in the field to Wisdom of Water. Rathlin the outside. Second last is Every Rose. Last of all is Smart and Sexy. Lady Banff just the leader from Dusty Tycoon. Third, the inside is Kavak. Next one, 3 wide down the side. There is Nitrous. Then we've got Farnham. Away Game creeping forward. Got a Kiss over on the inside. Stella Pauline's been wide. Euphoric Summer conceded. Trapped out very wide as well. Aim is shuffled back over on the inside. Very wide indeed. Rathlin at the 350. Lady Banff a length and a half in front. Nitrous Away Game down the outside. Got a Kiss is coming through. And Aim is over on the inside. Lady Banff just in front. But here's Away Game. And Away Game has opened up in the millions. Stella Pauline, Wisdom of Water, conceded late as Rathlin, but Away Game's in front, and Away Game is brilliant. Won the millions by 2 lengths. Stella Pauline, photo third, conceded King's Legacy, Wisdom of Water, and Rathlin, followed by Aim. Then we had Nitrous, Farnan, Every Rose, Got a Kiss, Lady Banff, Dusty Tycoon, Euphoric Summer, Kavak, and the last one, Smart and Sexy.
Kieran Maher and David Youssef have won the Magic Millions, and Luke Curry's won another one. Away Game has won the Magic Millions at $35 and $10.20. $5.30 for Stella Pauline. 2 horses that the stables wanted to talk about all week. Kieran Maher wanted from the barrier draw on Tuesday tell you how well this filly was going. And
Away Game for Kieran Maher, David Eustace. This filly by Schnitzel, they paid $425,000 for her. She took a few by surprise though. She was $35 and $10.20. Stella Pauline remains perhaps the best maiden in Australia at second at $5.30, conceded third. And the favourites, well, they did
big time and peaked on the right day. She covered ground, but with cover, but that was the norm on the day. Outside barriers nearly filled the placings all day. The fence was a little bit off. I think everyone recognised that and played to that ability.
Well, he said that after he won the second number.
Tony McAvoy did that with Sunlight.
That's right.
Yeah, it's funny because other trainers like to travel 2 days before the race. That's their routine. I know the Snowdens do it, and when Peter Moody was training, he used to bring his days, the carnivals 2 days before, and that's. But now I think here with this climate, it's completely different. You've got to maybe give him a lead-up run, or maybe let him settle in here. So that's been proven the modern way to do it. You know, it was the old days in the Melbourne Cup. You had so many kilometres in your legs.
That's right.
It's not the new way. There's a new way. Maybe you don't have to do that. But all in all, she was a deserved winner. But I thought she's a good filly, the Stella Pauline. She's still got more to offer. There's no doubt about that. And the 2 real nice horses that will train on it, you know, later on, or even at 3 are Conceded and King's Legacy. That was just too much of a scamper on the tight track for them.
In a race that looked, you know, a Colts race.
Slipper, and not every horse is given a price. So before this race, Away Game wasn't quoted in the slipper.
No, we've really only quoted, you know, horses that have raced or been competitive in, and when you consider, you know, when she got to a 40-to-1 chance in the Magic Millions, you say, well, you know, how would you put her in the Golden Slipper market? Bang Crash Wallop, she wins the Magic Millions, is about a 2-to-1 chance, as you said. So she's put onto the second line of the slipper now as a $15 chance behind Dame Giselle at 11. And you see all of those others there. Aim, who was
$2.30. We got out to $2.50 last night, into $2.40, and now you can get $2.60. Drawn one. He's a Manikato Stakes winner this track and trip. He won the Winterbottom just at the end of last year, and he's on fire off his work here Monday morning, but he's drifting, $2.50. Scales of Justice, they love him. He can sit probably 1 or 2 pairs back, follow Haydock all the way, peel off him. He won a Group 3 1,200-metre race at Caulfield, first up last prep. Then he won a Group 1 1,400 at Caulfield. $3.50, that's a good little push for him.
All clear given, the gates are back, and Haydock and Ashlore got the best of the start. Scales of Justice began very quickly. Going fast, Be Good to Your Mother out wide on the track from Ring a Ding Ding. Microphone's just behind those. Manuel improving. They were followed by Getting Back, Embrace Me, and now Ring a Ding Ding went out to the tail of the field. Haydock in front of Ashlaw. Scales of Justice a length away. Be Good to Your Mother a length and a half off those. 2 lengths Manuel. Then the 3-year-old Microphone, Embrace Me, and Ring a Ding Ding. It's Haydock in charge at the 650. A neck on Ashlaw, the bolter. Scales of Justice waiting on those. Be Good to Your Mother going up, sliding up to be 4th. 2 lengths away, then Microphone. He's under pressure trying to chase the 3-year-old. Just in front of him is Manuel. Embrace Me making ground, and Ring a Ding Ding last. Haydock under his own steam on the corner, the front runner. Got away from Ashlaw. Waiting for a run. Scales of Justice, the big boy, and behind those Be Good to Your Mother. Haydock flattens for home in front. Ashlaw's run the race of his life on the outside. Be Good to Your Mother and Scales of Justice. Embrace Me is starting to hurdle down the outside. Haydock in front. Embrace Me and Scales of Justice. Manuel down. Scales of Justice hit the front. Scales of Justice wins the Group 2 from Haydock. Embrace Me and close up Ring a Ding Ding, in a photo from Ashlaw. Microphone, Be Good to Your Mother. And Manuel's come down. He's crashed to the turf. Terrible scene. Scales of Justice waiting for the run. The rider of Manuel is on the track and is quickly being attended to. He's conscious. Has his hand over his face. What a finish. Scales of Justice, Dean Yendall. He was biting his nails off looking for a run. Haydock in front. Embrace Me was starting to hurdle down the outside. But this beast of an animal from the west for Lindsay Smith, who's already established himself for a long period of time as an outstanding trainer, and he's been able to win the Group 2. 2, 1, 8 and 6, 109.77. And a terrible tragedy with this horse going.
Now they're off. Hanseatic jumped well out wide. So did from the centre of the line Mysterious Art. There's also speed coming from Glenfiddich. And down near the inside, Claptone is starting to hunt up in the early part of the race as well. So after 200 metres, and it's Claptown going to the front with on the outside Glenfiddich, Southern, and then Don't Doubt Nick. Next, Mr. Have a Chat, Mysterious Art back to 6. Tanker, Hanseatic, they're together in the run midfield, and then followed by Fixated Toscanini. And Yulong Progress is back last, coming around the home corner, just over 400 metres left to go. And Claptone, the bolter, leads into the straight from Glenfiddich in second. Southern deeper on the track as they straighten. And then comes Mr. Have a Chat. Down the centre, Hanseatic's now starting to range. Tanker's dropped out as they come down to the 200. Here's Hanseatic going to Glenfiddich, taking the front and putting a couple of lengths on the field. Away he goes. Look at this. It's Hanseatic careering away for Luke Curry, and he's going to demolish them. 3 lengths. Glenfiddich second. Fixated come through for third. Then Toscanini, followed by Mr. Have a Chat, Mysterious Art, Yulong Progress. Tanker was never in it. And then Don't Doubt Nick, followed by Claptone, who gave a side, and Southern has clocked in at the end. Hanseatic, they jumped well, but then are away. Fresh jumped pretty well, so did A Beautiful Night. Bombay Rocket showing speed. So on settling down, A Beautiful Night, Bombay Rocket, Bella Nipotina, Fresh deeper, trying to slot in for the moment, 4 off the fence. Miss Venezuela hunting up now to third. Supreme Idea just offered in the red cap. And then followed by Sweeter Scandi. Getting well back is French Fields deep. And then comes Miss Bank Place, Drone Strike. And then Award winner who's back third last. Geist is second last. And then Unstoppable at the tail end of the field. So A Beautiful Night comes around the home corner leading by about a half length. Bombay Rocket, Bella Nipotina, Fresh out 4 wide. And then comes Miss Venezuela back on the fence looking for a run. Down the outside, Geist tries to wind home. But it is A Beautiful Night having a big kick at that stage. Put up 2 lengths. Fresh really needs to chase it down. And then comes Bella Nipotina. It's A Beautiful Night from Fresh, who can't reach the margin enough to win. And A Beautiful Night wins by a neck. Second home was Fresh. then followed by Bella Nipotina. Unstoppable coming through as well, and not beaten far. Down the outside, we had runs from award winner joining in for those minor spots as well. Geist down the outside part of the track. And then came Supreme Idea, a break to Miss Bank Place. And then the last couple in include French Fields and Drone Strike, who's clocked in towards the end, along with...
moves forward, and they're all set now. The lights on for the Group 2 Expressway Stakes. We're ready. Plenty of speed here. Gates are back now, and they're off and racing in the Expressway, and Arathea was the first into stride. White Moss away well. Vega Days is hunting through to third in front of Standout. Then came Glenall, Colding taken back. Elise will park last on the fence as Arathea does her trick and goes to the front by 2. White Moss racing keenly in second. A length and a half to Vega Days. He's travelling very strongly in third. Standout switches off well in fourth on the outside of Glenall, and the last two Colding on the outside of Elise, who's pinned away on the fence. Racing to the turn, Arathea in front from White Moss. Vega Days has been very keen in the run. Then came Glenall from Standout. Bowman's locked up here on Elise. Colding, Boss just waiting. Stays up on the outside as they straighten up now. Arathea in front from White Moss. 2 lengths clear from Vega Days. Standout's cruising into the race the outside. Elise's into the clear now. Colding's trying to go with her. Standout, the colt, makes the move of the 200. Draws a length clear. Elise 2 lengths away, but Standout's going great from Elise into second, and then came White Moss, but Standout really stands up today in the Group 2. Won it by a length and a half to Elise. White Moss third, just in front of Colding and Glenall. Then came Vega Days, and Arathea was last, but only a few lengths from top end to tail.
Gerald Ryan's got another one. Standout, 690 and 310. Too good, much too good for Elise. 140. Stand by for the photo.
3 weeks. And Gator 8 fillies have won this, and then the Blue Diamond. Liar, the most recent, won this last year, beating Vinakunga and Etheria on its way to victory in the big one.
Yeah, that's right. Starting time, Clean Machines, and they're ready to run. Billy's Prelude, stalls are back and racing. Geist, one of the better ones away, with also Let's Be Glam and also Diamond-esque. A beautiful night settling behind those. Fresh has got lots of toe as well as driving through, followed by Clean Machine. Mutasira, the insiders, picking off a few, followed by Riverina Storm, and at the back of the field settling down Unstoppable. Fresh drives through to join Diamond-esque, and also out 3 deep Let's Be Glam. A length and a half away, A Beautiful Night. Mutasira fifth, the inside from Geist out wider. 2 further back is Riverina Storm, and then came Unstoppable the inside, and Clean Machine is wide and back. Coming up around the turn at the 450, it's Fresh on the inside of Diamond-esque, and they were followed by Let's Be Glam 3 deep. Geist stoked up 4 deep. A Beautiful Night, Mutasira. Need runs behind those horses. They came together, followed by Clean Machine. It's Let's Be Glam at the 200 metres. Fresh is gone. Then came Geist and Mutasira. It's Let's Be Glam. 100 metres to go. Let's Be Glam swishing the tail. She's got it shot to bits. 2.5. Let's Be Glam won it well. Second, Mutasira from Geist. They were followed by Riverina Storm from Clean Machine. A Beautiful Night, Unstoppable, Diamond-esque, and Fresh, the favourite, has finished last.
Well, there's a blowout. This is a quality filly by Schnitzel, who cost $280,000 at the Magic Millions. She won her debut at Werribee. And for Brett Preble, he turns back the clock. He won this race back in 2001. And we might have just seen at the moment, his name is Hanseatic.
Couldn't have been much more impressive at either run. They've both been terrific performances, back and wide and powered home. Different scenario for him today. He's drawn low. Does he track rulership? I hope so in the run. He does have a blistering turn of foot. He ran consecutive last 200s there, the last 400 at 10.8, 10.8 basically last time out. You've got to be very smart to do that.
Yeah, talk about
You talk about $2.30, Hanseatic, sort of still the best back runner for us at the moment. Then you've got Rulership at $2.90, so not a lot of change in the market between those two. They dominate the betting.
Set Racing, Valaquenta away fairly, Hard Landing out well, with also Rulership, who began very speedily. Rulership will lead in the first 150 with Hard Landing the outer. Not too far away as Tagaloa, and also in that group is Hanseatic behind the speed with Spirit of Giving out deeper on the track, and also Glenfiddich. Further back in the field, Rathlin getting up on the fence from Valaquenta, and they were followed by Tanker well back in the field, with also Southern, Jabali Ridge, and Winsome is last. Rulership in front, comes up towards the turn at the 500 from Hard Landing. Glenfiddich 3 deep, Spirit of Giving makes a line of 4. They were followed by Rathlin, Tagaloa, Valaquenta. Hanseatic's about third last, hook to the outside. Rulership and Hard Landing at the 250. Glenfiddich on the outside makes a line of 3. Rathlin back to the inside. Hanseatic running on. Rulership went for home though, below the 200 metres, a length and a half. Hanseatic from the clouds. Rulership trying to hold on. Hanseatic's wearing it down and will get up. What a win! Hanseatic from Rulership. Rathlin third from Tagaloa, followed by Glenfiddich. Oh, that was a serious race. Valaquenta behind them from Winsome, then Tanker, Jabali Ridge. Further back, Hard Landing, Southern, and Spirit of Giving last.
He is a proper colt, and he is going to take a power beating in a couple of weeks' time in the Blue Diamond. Whatever beats him will be winning the great race. Rulership was superb down in Melbourne for the first time. He'll derive a lot of benefit. Hanseatic and Eye Catcher. Rathlin runs third. Tagaloa runs fourth. Wow. Hutch, what a win with a promising colt. The sky's the limit.
Oh, it was an exciting race to watch, and what a win, Corey. Nothing really went his way. He was tucked in behind, and then mid-race, it just wasn't working out for him.
It just went all wrong mid-race for him. You know, he wasn't following the right horses. He was back from where he has. Nothing's come from behind all day or from out wide, and he's nailed him.
He is a star. He is undefeated. And I think under the circumstances, steadier early, but some incredible late sections from Hanseatic. He's run 11-1 his last 200, fifth best. But more importantly, the run leading into this, he ran 21.88. He's run 21.90 yesterday, so he's almost replicated that performance, what we saw last time out from him.
Here's the split for Luke Curry. A breathtaking finish from Hanseatic.
Makes a line of 3. Rathlin back to the inside. Hanseatic running on. Rulership went for home though, below the 200 metres, a length and a half. Hanseatic from the clouds. Rulership trying to hold on. Hanseatic's wearing it down and will get up. What a win! Hanseatic from Rulership. Rathlin.
It looked good on TV. It looks good on the clock. You were all on course. How did it look live?
It was a good feel in the box when we all watched it yesterday, because most of us wanted it to win. No, look, I thought, the filly was good. When I go back and watch that again, let's be glam, she was terrific. I mean, that's not easy to do. Fresh, obviously, you would imagine, end of the prep type situation. I don't know if there's as much depth in either field, but Let's Be Glam was terrific yesterday. Hanseatic could only do what he did. I mean, Corey, it was some effort.
It was a huge effort. Going back to the filly, I don't think she can improve a lot on what she done yesterday. I know she was forced to cover ground and she was head and head with the leaders and she did kick away, but Hanseatic, like if he gets the right running transit, you know, like he's not doing anything wrong.
If he can draw out and if there's a little bit more pressure in the Blue Diamond, just natural pressure of a Group 1 2-year-old event, imagine what he'll be able to do off a fast tempo.
And they've been riding him, I think, that way, like getting back and obviously getting...
Rulership, of course, is the other one that we need to talk about, because while Hanseatic, to the eye, on the clock, was brilliant, Peter Snowden was still thrilled with the performance of this Sydney colt, this I'm Invincible colt, coming down and racing at Caulfield for the first time. And the fact that he had to get to the lead, Hard Landing was on his outside but faded, and he just stargazed.
Probably got left alone.
That was it.
Yeah.
And Peter Snowden, Mark Zahra all said that once he hit the straight and he got that tailwind, but all he wanted to do was have a look at the grandstand and see what was happening. And there's a lot of improvement to come with Rulership. So Hanseatic obviously looks a really classy colt, and he is the one to beat in the Blue Diamond, but they're pretty confident that Rulership might be able to go better again, and not necessarily...
He's another one that's probably going to get over a little bit more ground. ground in time, but first to look around Caulfield, and he sort of wobbled around a bit.
What about the one in the pink and purple?
Terrific run. For first start at a race, what Kenny Keys got another one.
Yes, he sure does. He was so good. His last 200 metres, when he actually wanted to get back and straighten up and not just hang on one rein, running away from other horses on debut, he was so good. His closing times were really fast, and unfortunately he's not going to have enough prize money to tackle the Blue Diamond, but Ken Keys said he's just going to take his time with this horse. There'll be some black type for him, hopefully not too far away.
Big track size produce in about a month time with a run in between. Just looks like it might all come together for Winsome. It was a pretty impressive performance. Hanseatic is the clear #1 seed, but there are a couple of potential monkey wrenches that get thrown in here from the Mar Eustace team, Grace.
Well, that's it. So Selzabil, we can see, is on the second line of betting there, and of course she was supposed to run yesterday at the Warwick Farm meeting, which got washed out, called off. Also, you can see away game there. I've spoken to Kieran Maher this morning, and they haven't quite worked out what they're going to do yet, but
with that gear change. Off to a break here on Sky Racing 1. When we return, we'll start the main quaddie with the Group 2 Rubiton Stakes from Caulfield. Gator has his best bet of the day going around in Anaheed. Brass like Sartorial.
Favourite, three-year-olds have won this race previously. Set racing. Anaheed jumped away well. Not as fast as Sartorial Splendour on the outside, who musters with Age of Chivalry. Anaheed's right there. Runson fourth, the inner, followed by Causeway Girl, All Too Royal. Well back in the field, settling down as Wild Planet on the fence. Admiral's Joker, Bold Star back with it. 750 out. Sartorial Splendour crossed and led Anaheed by a length and a quarter. They were followed by Age of Chivalry, third the outside of Runson, and then came All Too Royal. Next, Causeway Girl, Wild Planet, Bold Star, and Admiral's Joker up towards the turn. 500 metres to go. High cruising speed, Sartorial Splendour by a length and a half. Anaheed, then Age of Chivalry. Next, Causeway Girl, Runson, All Too Royal, and Admiral's Joker in a line from Wild Planet, Bold Star. Sartorial Splendour joined by Anaheed as they reach the 200 metres, and now lets down the 3-year-old 2 lengths to All Too Royal, Age of Chivalry, and then Bold Star. Anaheed is clear for Timmy Clark, and Anaheed will win it. Punched out, scored a length and a quarter. Bold Star, All Too Royal, then Causeway Girl. Further back, Age of Chivalry, Admiral's Joker, Wild Planet, Runson. Sartorial Splendour got the stitch and finished last.
Simply too good. She's bred to be a star. She wins a Group 2 race today. She's Group 1 placed, and she's onwards and upwards to a super autumn 3-year-old campaign. That's when her dad, Fastnet Rock, really came into his own, when he had those great battles.
Place, deserved favourite.
Nick Ashman assessing the horse flesh in the mounting yard. Nick, this guy is just a ripper. He races near the speed, and he always runs up to his merits.
Yeah, he's an absolute cracking type too. He's got a lovely long rein on him, a great...
This race with another old warrior in 2018 in Hartnell. It is Avilius.
Well, you could argue that trip might be a little short for him, but his first up run last preparation in the Wing Stakes was terrific. Pattern against and...
There was $6.80 between the two in the market, and now there's $2.70. So that's a fair move for Avilius to really challenge Scales of Justice here. $8.50 Haydock continues to go out because of that move for the top weight. $8.50 Fierce Impact holding. Alabama Express has come in, so that's the one they've looked at double figures. Be Good to Your Mother out to 14 continues to...
The CF4 time-honoured contest, and they're ready to run. Set to jump. Starter has them. Gates are back at the 1,400 metres. Night's Watch missed the start a length and a quarter. Avilius goes back to second last. Haydock began really well. Straight to the lead from Be Good to Your Mother. Scales of Justice, 3 wide. Third looking to slot across. Ring-a-ding-ding right behind those. Scales of Justice is going to get the cold set. Third right behind them. 2 further back. Alabama Express on the improved. The 3-year-old from Ring-a-ding-ding. Fierce Impact. 2 lengths. Kingsville Dream. 50 stars. Sosi Bond. 3 lengths. Mirage Dancer. Avilius. Night's Watch last to the side of the track, and it's Haydock controlling this to the side at the 850 by 3/4. Be Good to Your Mother. A length and a half. Scales of Justice third, followed by Alabama Express, and then came Fierce Impact, the outer of Ring-a-ding-ding. A length and a half. Kingsville Dream 7 off the lead from 50 stars. Sosi Bonavilius, Mirage Dancer, Night's Watch last. So it's Haydock at the 500 metres, kept up to his work by Be Good to Your Mother. 2 further back. Scales of Justice, Every Hope from Alabama Express, Fierce Impact. then Ring a Ding Ding, Kings Will Dream, Sosie Bonavilius a long way back with Night's Watch, Mirage Dancer in the straight at the 300. It's Haydock and Be Good to Your Mother. Alabama Express launching down the outside. Scales of Justice trying to wedge between them. Alabama Express takes the lead, cuts across Scales of Justice. Kings Will Dream, Fierce Impact late. Alabama Express, the 3-year-old's going to do it. Alabama Express has won the Ore. Second, Fierce Impact. Third, Kings Will Dream from 50 Star, Scales of Justice, Avilius. Then Be Good to Your Mother. Further back in the field, Sosie Bon, Ring a Ding Ding, Hey, Doc Knights, watching Mirage Dancer.
Oh, what a win. What a 3-year-old. He emulates what his father was able to do 20 years ago. Alabama Express at a big price wins the Group 1 CF4 Stakes. It got a little willing in the straight. Michael D wins a Group 1 for Mike Moroney. Fierce Impact runs second. Kings Will Dream running third, and 50 Stars. Well, there was a bit of calculation about...
Win. It was a tough win. Yet again, we see the horses sitting 3 wide down the back, facing the breeze, still attacking the line solid. It's a good win. I'm not sure. I'd like to see the replay again. Fierce Impact, I thought, may have been a fraction unlucky, having to come out and come around the eventual winner, but taking nothing away from the winner, it was a tough win.
It sure was.
On an extra section, let's have a look back at yesterday's CF4. Hutch, this was the fastest version of the race at just a tick over 1:22 since Lonrose winning the race in 2004.
Yeah, look, it was, well, a couple of things obviously aided, and it was the second highest ranking race of the day as well. And this first little part of the race, the first section with Be Good to Your Mother not taking it up, they didn't go that hard, but they ramped it up big time from around about the 800-metre mark, and it became a real test. And I suppose, all things considered, it just really enhanced the performance of Alabama Express, who, as you can see, trapped a bit deep there. And he's the only run in the whole field 3 wide without cover, but some effort off that speed, particularly from the 800, to sustain his run.
Mike, just quickly, we saw that headshot of Alabama Express 3 wide. Were you concerned at that stage?
I think with that, I saw that same one on the day, watching it on TV, and that's when I first thought he might as well pull him up and come back home. But you don't get that run. When you normally get that run 9 times out of 10, it's all over for you at Caulfield. But as Michael said to me, that every time we asked him for an effort, and we're starting to ask a long way out, he just kept quickening and quickening and quickening. So
let's pick up Matt Hill's call of the CF4 Stakes.
300, it's Haydock and Be Good to Your Mother. Alabama Express launching down the outside. Scales of Justice trying to wedge between them. Alabama Express takes the lead, cuts across Scales of Justice. Kings Will Dream, Fierce Impact late. Alabama Express, the 3-year-old's going to do it. Alabama Express has won the Ore. Second, Fierce Impact. Third, Kings Will Dream.
So he emulates the feats of his sire, Reduce Choice, who won the race back in 2000, coming off a 3-year-old preparation that saw him win a Caulfield Guineas. You see some similarities?
Very, very similar markings type and that. He throws a lot of different types for Doots, but he his way.
On his 7th career start yesterday as well, so, I mean, it seems as though, particularly this preparation, where it's sort of just all starting to... The pennies really dropped with him this time in, it seems.
The Ore is typically a really strong pointer to what's to come throughout not only Melbourne's Autumn Carnival, but also looking ahead towards Sydney. Let's hear from some of the beaten jockeys in the Ore.
Damien Lane, Avilius.
Yeah, he ran really well. He just stepped slow, and I copped the bump from my outside. Just probably put me a couple of spots too far back in the run, and he finished off well. He just had a bit of a checkered path, but he hit the line good.
Jai McNeil, 50 Stars.
Yeah, really happy with the way he kicked off today. He never really travelled that well on the run, but he really finished strongly. So hopefully, onwards to bigger and better things.
Mark Zara, Kings Will Dream.
Yeah, he ran a super race first up. He sort of got left a bit flat-footed around the bend, but he balanced up and he was really strong. He's in for a good prep.
Craig Williams, Fierce Impact.
Oh, awesome. Matt Smith was really confident in him. He tried up, to the eye nicely but fairly, and he's very confident coming today. Unfortunately, we took a 3. It was a little bit too good for us today.
Dean Yendall, Scales of Justice.
No, look, he was good. He come off the bridle there, 600 out. They were going at a good tempo, but sort of suited him a bit. I come with the winner, obviously got into a bit of interference and lost my momentum, so it was a good run all considering.
Plenty of news in behind the winner, Grace.
It certainly was, as there always is with a race like the CF4 Stakes, particularly looking as to where these horses may go to next. We heard from the jockeys of Kingswood Dream and also Fierce Impact. Kingswood Dream is going to stick around in Melbourne. He's being targeted towards the Australian Cup. Fierce Impact will go back to the Chipping Norton in Sydney before hopefully getting a start in the All-Star Mile. Both of those horses were really, really strong to the line, looked to be right on track for their targets. Scales of Justice was a touch disappointing. Lindsay Smith thought, yes, there was some interference that he did cause in the straight from both inside and outside, while the stewards couldn't determine which jockey was the one that caused that, so everyone was clear out of that. Lindsay Smith also thought that he probably wasn't going as well as what they'd expected, and that Alabama Express to the outside was certainly going better. So Scales of Justice may progress onto the Futurity, or we may see him drop back in distance, freshened up for the William Reid a little bit later. And Avilius was...
See, he's got the two handlers on him. He wants to get on with the job. That's him, and his coat condition looks pretty much spot on, guys. So similar to Parade to what we saw from him in the spring.
Move to the 5, Sol.
And 71 the rest. So don't forget, there's only 6 runners in this race. If you've got some bet returns left, Alligator Blood's going to run in the first 3, I think, anyway. So it might be a good chance to get your money back.
No, I mean, it's an amazing bunch of 3-year-olds, you know, like the New Zealand horse, Catalyst. I love Alligator Blood. I just think what he overcome up in the Gold Coast, Magic Millions.
Set the gallop signal and they're racing. Alligator Blood jumped away well and cleanly. Your Deal Catalyst, a line of 3 early. Dallas Sand behind them. Chenia 50 in a 2-length Soul Patch. Alligator Blood matched by Catalyst in the first 200 metres. They're about 1 3/4 lengths in front of Your Deal. Third, Chenia. Fourth, The Paint, just wanting to pull a shade. 1 1/4 Dallas Sand and Soul Patch last of the 6. Alligator Blood relaxes in the lead. 900 metres out by 3/4 length to Catalyst, who's happy to let the Alligator lead. Chenia 1 1/4 away third, followed by Your Deal. Dallas Sand 5th on the outside of Soul Patch at the 800. Alligator Blood by 3/4 length to Catalyst, and the speed is neutral. Third along the inside is Chenia from Your Deal. Dallas Sand is getting going 4 deep, flushing out Your Deal 3 deep, and they were followed by Soul Patch. They come around the turn at the 550. It's Alligator Blood held together from Catalyst, giving it the stare. The race is on now. Your Deal 1.5 lengths away from Dallas Sand, stoked up. Chenia needs a run, then Soul Patch. 300 metres to go. Alligator Blood lets down now. Catalyst is sticking with him, and they were followed by Chenia. Alligator Blood at the 200 metres, about a neck in front. Catalyst on the outside is sticking with him. Alligator Blood at the 100. Catalyst digs in. They're stride for stride. Alligator Blood and Catalyst. Alligator Blood just in front of just one. Alligator Blood has beaten Catalyst. Bring on the guineas. Chenia third. Soul Patch, Dallas Sand, Your Deal.
That's everything you've got to love about this sport. Alligator Blood takes round 1 against Catalyst, but bring on the guineas, bring on the All-Star Mile. That had shades of Reduced Choice and Testarossa about it. The hairs on the back of the neck of everyone at Flemington are standing up upright, but Alligator Blood makes it 9 from 10 and takes out a pulsating CSA Stakes.
Oh, that was special, Corey. What a race.
Oh, mate, it's great to see 2 young guns going head and head like that. And, you know, that they fought all the way down the straight. That's what racing's all about.
How tough is Alligator Blood?
He's a gun, mate. Honestly, I keep going back to the Gold Coast.
Gee whiz, that was a war up the straight. Oh, mate, it feels like a Group 1, but it's like, can't be more proud of this horse. After we went a furlong, I said to James McDonald, I said, a match race. And we got away with some cheap sections. I was trying to really pinch it from the 600, but I've got a lot of respect for that Catalyst. I know you can't really probably get a good guideline in their form lines, but the times he's been running and the manner in which he's been doing it, I knew it was going to be, you know, a really good test for him today. And he was headed multiple times, and he just, yeah, he's true to his name. Tell me about the race.
What was going through your head as they straightened up?
I was looking at the sectionals and I saw that they were going along, and I thought, gee whiz, he's going to have to be good to win this. And when Catalyst got to him, I thought, we're going to run second. But the little Queenslander picked himself up off the canvas, and I mean, they were 2 top-class horses. I mean, the time they ran for the last 400 was incredible, and they were going stride for stride. And when he just got the edge that last 50 metres and showed his class, I thought, wow, that's his best performance.
We've seen him break Hearts out in front today, had to show Hart to stave it off. Is that something you thought, that he had that intestinal fortitude in him?
We've never seen him go head and head with another horse. He usually gets there pretty quick and he's dominant. And the day Super Seth beat him, he was really switching off a bit. So for the last 300, for those horses to fight it out like that, I mean, full credit to the second horse, but I mean, my horse, wow, you know, he is something really special.
Guineas next.
On it. Oh, very happy. You know, we got beat, but we gave him a kilo. We only got beat a nose, but we now know we're competitive over here, and that's exactly what we use this race for.
We saw James McDonald positive out of the gates in the end. It set up what was a fantastic go to the line. How much improvement is there in your horse stepping out to the Guineas now?
Oh, he'll improve again. Like we had him pretty right here today, but he's looking for a mile, and we're going to be even weights, and we'll try and slingshot them there.
Bring on Guineas Day?
Too right.
It was a great race.
It's not often. It wasn't the feature race of the day. It had a huge amount of hype attached to it. The thing that hit me was I watched Fox Sports News last night getting home, and they devoted a minute to a Group 3 race. And it's not often that you're seeing races of that level working their way into mainstream sports media. I thought it was a big sign of what yesterday's race did.
Yeah, but just position. But he had positive intent right from the start. So you knew after they'd gone 200 metres, it was going to be a match race, because the other horses, quite frankly, are just not in the same league. And they hadn't gone out super quickly in the first 400 metres. Then the tempo started to build, and then it was just a complete match race from the 400 home.
So watching this, Corey, Hutch, Grace, we all shared a look at each other about now and said, it's on, game on. It was.
Exactly. How good is it? Look, Dan, the way the race was run, they were obviously that first section. I think the first 600
relaxed off, did they?
Well, the first 600 they've gone on raw times well out. They're about 5 or 6 lengths outside of standard, but then they've just ramped it up. They ramped it up from a fairway. For the 800, they've gone 4 lengths and 4 lengths, basically a tick under 4 lengths for each one. So they picked it up a long way out. So this was a match race, and it was on from the 800. And great call from Matt Hill as well.
Let's enjoy the CSA Stakes.
Alligator Blood held together from Catalyst, giving it the stare. The race is on now. Your Deal a length and a half away from Dalasan, stoked up. Chenia needs a run, then Soul Patch. 300 metres to go. Alligator Blood lets down now. Catalyst is sticking with him, and they were followed by Chenia. Alligator Blood at the 200 metres, about a neck in front. Catalyst on the outside is sticking with him. Alligator Blood at the 100. Catalyst digs in. They're stride for stride. Alligator Blood and Catalyst. Alligator Blood just in front of just one. Alligator Blood has beaten Catalyst.
Sensational. Absolutely sensational, and we'll not get tired of watching that replay over the next couple of weeks. Looking ahead to the Guineas, Corey, I reckon we could almost tell the point around the 300 where Ryan Maloney's chin drops, and he's probably uttered those words about a match race to James McDonald.
And again, obviously it's not a Group 1 race, but they raced like...
Really.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
really,
exactly, yeah. But, yeah, just his confidence, I thought it was pretty good, you know, like he's not the youngest of jockeys, but he... You know, I just wouldn't expect someone like that to say something like that. Like if it was Robbie Thompson, you know, we're competing in a maiden up at Cessnock, I could understand. But in that sort of level of horses and, you know, race...
shows the confidence he's got, the horse. It shows the confidence that he's got in Alligator. You can understand why.
And like Mike said, it wasn't Alligator Blood, like, not saying he was on the...
I just wonder with Alligator Blood whether eventually he's going to come to the end of the road, this preparation. I mean, he's had a lot of hard racing through the spring, and then the summer he had 2 runs heading into the Magic Millions, which was a semi-grand final. Now he's headed towards the Australian Guineas and the All-Star Mile. Does he get to a point where he's reached his peak and he starts to regress? Whereas Catalyst and Chenia are the horses, for mine, that are on the up.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying, but I...
Tained yesterday, it was just such a thrilling race, and I'll be finding it hard to go against him again, I think, because he's tactically versatile as well. You can put him anywhere.
Yeah.
He's strong, he's tenacious. He's got every quality, Corey, that you want as a racehorse.
Without a doubt.
So the best thing about both of them is their geldings. So I think we discussed this during the spring. So long as they stay sound, Catalyst and Alligator Blood, we're going to be enjoying them for the next 3-4 years.
Absolutely. So, horses, what do we think about Chenia? This was a horse that we hadn't seen race for almost a year. He'd only had the 2 starts as a 2-year-old, and he's come out at start number 3, back to the inside, then has come back across heels, come wide out to the outside of the two eventual first and second horse.
It's an unbelievable performance.
And in the last 50 metres, he is taking ground off them, and through the line, he's up alongside them.
And it was hands and heels too, the last little bit from Ollie, and he just started surging that last little bit. So, you know, given the time that he's had off the scene, you've got to say he's right in contention for the Guineas.
No question. I mean, and would you be worried if you were at Alligator Blood about meeting any of those again?
No, I wouldn't. I mean, he's just such a winner. Yeah. But eventually he's going to come to the end of the road. I just wonder when that's going to be.
I'd like to see him ridden more like he was at the Gold Coast. Yeah,
just with the sit little behind, I think. Yeah.
We'll reveal our locked and loaded picks for the Australian Guineas a little bit later on, which was hotly contested. Somehow Corey Brown has pick one in this. It still has me confused how it works. System, Clint. It's the system.
I've been a Gator fan for a long while, let me tell you.
And then, so what now likely rolls in is the second incarnation of the All-Star Mile. The other little added addition, I suppose, is they'll move from Flemington to Caulfield for this. That might add another dimension, but we anticipate, similar to what Mystic Journey did last year, Australian Guineas, All-Star Mile now perhaps becomes the typical pathway for the 3-year-olds.
There's a couple of good horses at good prices there. Fierce Impact was terrific first up. Melody Bell. Yeah,
Talking about the clash between Alligator Blood and Catalyst, it was a sensational struggle when two horses went to war yesterday at Flemington. The Queenslander Alligator Blood, the Kiwi Catalyst. It shaped as a great race and it gave us more than that.
Yeah, look, it's an outstanding contest. There's no doubt about it. Have a look at them here. Eyeballing for most of this race. A terrific contest. I reckon he may have headed him twice there, Catalyst, but he wouldn't give in, the Queenslander, and he's fought hard, and what a race. And the mouth's watering thinking of this Guineas coming up. And we're all talking about the big two up front there. Don't forget that third horse. Yeah. That is my horse, that one to follow is Chenier. I know he had the soft run behind them, but he's first up after injury, not as crunched down, no recent racing. Don't disregard him as being a real knockout chance come the Guineas.
But you'd have to say that the two horses up front, they weren't necessarily eyeballing each other. They were in their own comfort zone together. It was almost like a 5-home-2 in a gallop, wasn't it?
100%. 100%. You know, some people might say, oh, no, they were home pretty quick time there. They sprinted home quicker than the Lightning, last 600 of the Lightning. So that tells you something.
It's great to have some fresh...
There's some more stars hitting the turf now. The feature of the day, the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes, is coming our way. Matt Campbell with a BetEasy market update.
Caviar-like is Nature Strip. Rock solid at $1.50, just has not moved. Clearly the best back runner of the race. Punters happy to take the short price. Of the others, Red Zell has definitely been better backed than Loving Gabby. So even though there's $5.50, $6.50 in the market, there's more money for the 1 over the 7. Guitra's really quiet. It's out to 17. Tafani is...
For 1,000 metres. Let's start our look with Nature Strip. James McDonald and Chris Waller combining. He's 4 for 4 up the straight. He's won 3 Group 1s last year in the Galaxy, the Moir, and then, of course, here in the Darley Classic.
Oh, well, if he's anything like that sort of form, I don't think they'll see which way he goes over the 1,000, because that's so really, I think, in his sweet spot. But he loves Flemington. He loves the straight. Top 3.
Mark Zahra is aboard. G-Try here for Gordon Richards. Its only Group 1 run so far was a 10th in that Goodwood last year. Behind Dispatch, we saw him in the spring for a second behind Crystal Dreamer. Not even in the spring, right on the edge of spring, but an aborted campaign from there.
He's been here twice, he's won twice, and the wins were excellent. And he was sort of overlooked a little bit behind Crystal Dreamer. He should have won that day as well, so he should have won his last 3. He's very much really hit his straps of late. He is first up today, 1,000 sharp enough. I'm sure he'll run better than what his price is at the moment, around $19.
Perspective, no change here for Nature Strip. Still rock solid at $1.50. Has been a bit of a change behind it, though. We talked about Red Zell being the better backed out of the two between Red Zell and Loving Gabby. Now, Loving Gabby's jumped over the top of Red Zell into $5 now, and Red Zell was 6.
Set to go. Ready. Racing. And Nature Strip was away pretty well. Just brushed into Loving Gabby there after a couple of strides. Red Zell began fast and is going to immediately head towards the inside. So it's Red Zell over on the far side. inside, leading Guitra, and I Am Excited. 3 over on the flat side rail. Coming up the outside, it's Nature Strip, probably about 5 horses off the outside fence, but led them clearly by 2 lengths. Dispatch, and they were followed by Tefane, and Loving Gabby is in that group. So they link onto the course proper at the 500 metres. Over on the far side, it's Red Zell, 2 lengths Guitra, and I Am Excited. Near side, Nature Strips, 3 lengths in front of Loving Gabby at the 300 metres, followed by Dispatch and Tefane. So with 250 metres to go, over on the far side, Guitra and Red Zell together. Nature Strip and Loving Gabby's getting closer to Nature Strip on the near side. Guitra at the 100 over on the far side. Loving Gabby's run past Nature Strip. It's Guitra in front. Guitra has won it. It's a blowout from Red Zell. Loving Gabby third. For fourth, I Am Excited or Nature Strip, who got tired. Dispatch second last. Tefane last.
Well, the Gordon Richards stable has been flying this campaign. He's just gone stratospheric. A Group 1 for Guitra, and look at the connections. They've got the blue and white ties on. They've descended from Adelaide, and they're taking back the Black Caviar Lightning Stakes of 2020. Incredible scenes in the mounting yard, and a boil-over of huge proportions.
And what a race to watch. It was so interesting early tactically. Red Zell one side with Kieran McAvoy. We had James McDonald leading closer to the grandstone side, Corey, and which sort of was switching back and forth which way. Look, who's in front?
It's hard to watch races like that, isn't it? But, you know, full credit to Kieran.
Did you think they were going to split? I didn't know, but I just thought the inside was better, and I'd drawn 2, and I was happy when Kieran stayed down low and just followed him. And I tell you, I travelled very sweetly, and it's always hard to sort of weigh up where the others are, but I sort of looked across and seen Nature was under a bit of pressure, and I was still going well, and Gordon got the horse fine, and he was too good in the end.
Well, Loving Gabby also...
Really good. Finally, yeah.
So this horse had a knee issue through the spring, had just the one run, but he's been down the straight a couple of times and had some real success. But tell us about how you've had to change training this horse so he can produce like that on race day.
Yeah, well, he jarred up. He just hard bones, I think they put it down to. So they just said modify his training so he does less hard work and water walker, swimming, a lot of slow work. And he's, you know, I don't think he's 100% today. Well, he looked like it, but he's still got a bit of improvement this prep, which will be good.
Was there a specific set of instructions heading into this Black Caviar Lightning Stakes? And in recent years, this has been a little bit of a graveyard for favourites, and the theme continued yesterday. Clint Hutchison, pick it up for us here. Nature Strip just flew the gates, as we anticipated, ran the fastest 800 to 600 of the day, but then the petrol light was on pretty quickly.
Yeah, but it was pretty comparable to what we'd seen him do, albeit in different track conditions. It actually went around about on raw times, around about standard for the first 2 sections, and overall the rank, according to the IVRs, ranked second, but on raw times they were a length slower, and it's been sort of pushed up to 2.5 lengths faster. But on face value, he's gone along at, I think, a pretty even sort of clip and been very weak late.
Here's the closing stages of the Lightning.
The far side, Guitra and Red Zell together. Nature Strip and Loving Gabby's getting closer to Nature Strip on the near side. Guitra at the 100 over on the far side. Loving Gabby's run past Nature Strip. It's Guitra in front. Guitra has won it. It's a blowout from Red Zell. Loving Gabby third.
Two remarkable scenes in the mounting yard. The merchandise of team ties at the moment. We saw a lot of the old...
we should probably
I thought it was fascinating how the race split into 2, and Kieran McAvoy took the initiative of saying, I think the ground might be superior closer to the fence as opposed to down the outside fence, and he decided to split and chart his own course and gave Guitra just the perfect trail in behind him. So I'm not sure how much of it related to the inside track, or the inside of the track being slightly superior ground, because 1-2 came down the inside of the track, even though Nature Strip, if you look at the drone shot, is 3 or 4 lengths clear at about the 600.
It's hard to know, isn't it? I mean, it's pretty speculative. We saw in another race, Serious Suspect, they all went over there. This race, they split. I think the inside might have been a touch better, but Loving Gabby's gone past him. The thing with that higher, there's on the sort of towards the grandstand, when we saw the drone shot, Loving Gabby basically tracked this exact path that Nature Strip did. So we can't really blame that because she's gone past him.
Team Red Zell had discussed it and they said, this is our plan, this is what we're going to do. And in hindsight, the other jockeys coming back in after the race said, yeah, if we had have been out back to the inside, it might have been a different result. So I think that there was certainly the belief that it was much better ground between sort of lane 1 to 8 on the day, and anything past that. I know Serious
So why didn't they go there? That's the thing. I mean, why didn't all of the jockeys go to the inside?
Because if Nature Strip is going to be the lead horse, and Nature Strip is the short odds favourite to beat, they want to track it to make sure that he's always within striking distance. You can understand that perspective as well. In hindsight, you get a different reaction and a different thought. But Serious Suspect did win out in those lanes where we can see the outside group, but overall that
the whole field went there, didn't they?
Exactly, the whole field went there. So
I think if that race had been
maybe third or fourth run in when he's rock hard fit.
Well, let's just discuss what actually happened to Nature Strip yesterday, because Hutch, we've already talked about on Raw Times how he hasn't actually gone all that quick. Yes, from the 8 to the 6 there was a 10.3 second split, which is scintillating on a soft track. Yeah. But it was also the way that he was running, and I spoke to James McDonald afterwards in the connections, and it's purely that he just does too much in the run when he's first up and fresh. Now, all of the...
Be regarded as a fresh horse. He used to be regarded as one that was a 1,000-metre horse. Every time you think you've got him worked out, he makes a fool of you.
And he's 4 from 4 at Flemington until yesterday. So.
Yeah. Well, with that, Grace, let's hear from the beaten jockeys after yesterday's Lightning.
James McDonald, Nature Strip.
Yeah, he went all right. He was a little bit fresh today, and he jumped first and just wanted to get running for the first 2 furlongs, albeit within himself, but effort told late.
Luke. Craig Williams, Loving Gabby.
Yeah, well, it's sad because she was awesome in defeat, but she won her race out in the middle of the track, and at straight racing, we chose to follow the favourite and go that way, and she's come back awesome. But unfortunately, we didn't win today's race. But didn't win today's battle, but she'll be winning the war.
McAvoy just took a look at the photo. What was your take on Redzel?
Yeah, just looked at the head on. He just got crowded sort of over that last furlong, but a great run. You know, he's shown that he's come back in great order there, and. Bit of rain obviously assisted, but he got out into a nice pad of grass where I wanted to go, and Pete was happy for me to take that option there closer to the inside, and fought really hard. The winner got up and passed me quite quick, but I was battling back over that last part of the race, so good to have him back. Yeah.
Oakley Plate next Saturday, and then the Newmarket, of course, to follow in a few weeks' time. And we still think the 3-year-old's holding sway here, and not surprisingly, Loving Gabby is well positioned. But we're not likely to see her, we'd imagine, next Saturday, Grace?
No, I think she's headed towards the Newmarket in 2 weeks, and we can see that Bivouac and Exceedance top that particular race as well.
So we get this potential convergence of form lines. We'll know so much more about the Newmarket picture next Sunday morning when we reconvene after the Oakley Plate.
Stakes down the straight. Nature Strip, the odds-on favourite, the Dual Everest winner. They decided to keep as far apart as possible.
Well, that was the biggest shock of the race. 7 runners, and who would have thought they'd be splitting in 2 divisions? And G-Tra was probably the beneficiary of it. He found the slipstream off Redzel's back here, and look, he's always been a very sharp sprinter, this G-Tra. I think he's had 7 runs at 1,000 metres for 6 wins in a second, but he was looking more like the Newmarket horse than the Wait for Age Lightning winners. But look, a great return. He was gallant in defeat. Redzel, he was terrific. Well, Loving Gabby and Nature Strip, were they in the best part of the going? We'll never know. Nature Strip is a very frustrating horse. He causes a lot of debate amongst punters. Some people are adamant he's overrated and he's this, he's that. Obviously, he needs things to fall his way. He needs no pressure in his races where he's the dominator. I don't know, but...
Well, that's the same as Redzel, though.
It probably is, but...
Redzel likes to be comfortable and control his races.
But he can control it at a big speed, where if you hunt Nature Strip up to do that, he'll just completely overdo it, where Redzel conserves a little bit better than Nature Strip.
I think there's one thing that we can always take up on we're going to get, but the one horse I'd be following out of that is Loving Gabby, because if she was on the best side of the track that we think was the best side, then I think that she would have been winning.
Yeah, she's a good filly.
100 metres to go. Lady Dioro matched by Palmy as they approach the turn at the 700 metres. Muse the outside of Luna Light, then Pretty Brazen. Further back is Fane. Swing and Boom about to peel out 3 deep, tracked by Fascino, now underneath of her. Catalan second last on the inside of Bonvicini. Around the turn at the 450, it's Lady Dioro and Palmy held together. Luna Light behind them. Muse is trucking up, and also Pretty Brazen out 3 and 4 deep is joining in from the outside. Bonvicini's about 4 off the lead and still running on. Catalan still last. It's Palmy at the 200, joined on the outside by Pretty Brazen. Palmy grabbed by Pretty Brazen. Muse, Bonvicini still coming. Pretty Brazen. Bonvicini's got her. Bonvicini takes the lead. Bonvicini won the Vanity. Pretty Brazen second. Head Bob a third. We've got Fascino or Muse, then Catalan. Palmy behind them from Luna Light, Fane, and Swing and Boom was last.
Bonvicini, Kieran Maher and Dave Eustace combined with Kieran McAvoy, his 3rd win in the race in the last 19 years. And a blousing result after Nature Strip, the short price favourite, was rolled in the Black Caviar Lightning by G-Tra. The quaddie is rapidly swelling. Bonvicini takes out the Group 3 Vanity, adds that to the listed win it had in... kick, and that set the race up for some of the leaders.
Yeah, I did hear the connections or the foreman, stable foreman, say they'll leave it to Craig, and obviously he was dealt a low blow as soon as the gates opened. He was slow away and got back, but I actually thought he was the run of the race. He's still got very, very lost going Melbourne way. Point of the home turn, you'll see him wobble off and probably cost himself, you know, a length or so in the run, but I just thought his work to the line was really, really strong. Taking nothing away from the winner, I just thought it was the run of the race.
Yeah, the pace was strong. On 3 lengths for the first section, a couple of lengths, 2.5 lengths the second section, so they weren't hanging about here. It's set up for the chasers, and this race actually, on raw figures, rated well, but it's been downgraded with the IVR. I'm not sure why, but it was pretty good on the raw numbers.
Kieran McAvoy's 3rd win in the Vanity aboard Bonvicini.
And also Pretty Brazen out 3 and 4 deep is joining in from the outside. Bonvicini's about 4 off the lead and still running on. Catalan still last. It's Palmy at the 200, joined on the outside by Pretty Brazen. Palmy grabbed by Pretty Brazen. Muse, Bonvicini still coming. Pretty Brazen. Bonvicini's got her. Bonvicini takes the lead. Bonvicini won the Vanity. Pretty Brazen second. Head Bob a third.
She won the Moorfield Guineas back in the spring. Had probably 3 forgive runs in what was her first preparation across sort of the winter and springtime. Good run in the Valleys Philly Classic, which Fascino, who ran 4th in that for Mar Eustace, won. She's solid, but...
Tab Lightfinger Stakes is due in a minute 50. Pretty settled on track where Libertini's most popular. $1.90 into $1.80. A nibble or two, but nothing significant. And Gator, just like Brass, you're a Libertini fan.
Yeah, I am. Obviously, she was a brilliant winner first up last time in super fast time.
$1 and longer the rest. Very, very good move all day here for Libertini. $2.20 at best, now $1.75. Only one other runner.
Off now. Libertini jumped okay from the wide draw. Sangria showing good speed with Electric Girl, and there's Kiyomichi showing good speed. Kiyomichi takes the lead from Sangria. Then came Electric Girl and Flit on the improve, and Libertini 3 wide in 5th position, followed then by Lyre on the inside of Emeralds. Further back to Akari, Regimental Band, Missile Mantra, and Darling Point is the last one. The Golden Slipper winner, Kiyomichi, shows the way by length on Sangria. Flit goes to 3rd, Electric Girl 4th. Libertini just moving back a bit on the outside of Lyre. Then Emeralds from Akari, Darling Point, Regimental Band, and Missile Mantra's last of all. They've got 500 metres to run. Kiyomichi's had the uncontested lead from Sangria, and Flit in a very handy 3rd coming off the fence to issue a challenge. 2 clear from Electric Girl, and Libertini being raced along now. She's 4 lengths away, picking up the bridle as Flit lays it down to Kiyomichi at the 200, and Flit takes the lead from Kiyomichi. Clear from Lyre. Libertini's battling, but Flit with the blinkers on today's edging clear, and Flit goes on to win the light fingers. Lyre ran 2nd, Kiyomichi 3rd, Libertini 4th, then came Emeralds. Further back to Akari from Electric Girl, then Sangria, Darling Point, Missile Mantra, and Regimental Band was last to finish. What a great return by Flit.
And it is blue, blue, blue. Godolphin first three across the line. All three of them Group 1 winners in their own right. Flit, Blinkers, first time, blows them away. Liar, Kiamichi, Libertini in fourth.
You won't be getting $13 this filly anymore. The Blinkers did go on. We were wondering why, and that's why. She travelled on top of the hot speed there. Who would have thought that she'd race that close, and the race was all over a long way from home. She's very, very strong. Great return from Liar. Kiamichi, good solid effort. Well, what do we say about Libertini? Do we wait to just see what she can produce back on the dry, or you'd have to mark her a touch disappointing?
So Godolphin, or the number
has really worked with her, putting it into that position to pounce there early in the straight, and she is a good, strong filly. She's wait till she gets to the mile.
Okay.
I was thinking, why Blinkers first up? You know, are they worried that she's not going any good, or are they really serious about, you know, her winning first up? The market said that she'd need a run. Boy, this was as dominant as you like. I've never seen her race this close as well. So she showed a really good racing style. I think she owned this race. She finished off. We know she's already a Group 1 winner at a mile, and boy, she really laid the cards on the table here. I love that last 50 metres, and she's going to be, you know, obviously very well fancied in this Princess Series coming up. I thought Liar did a really good job first up. She'll improve as well. She had a chance there, Kiamichi. You know, she had conditions to suit, and she didn't run bad. She fought on well. I think the talking point obviously is Libertini, Lizzie. You have to mark it disappointing, really.
Yes, and in the Stewards report, that's exactly what Anthony Cummings has said, and I actually had a chat with him after the race, and he was disappointed with her. I just read what he said. He said Tommy Berry added in the Stewards report that he was disappointed how she improved into the race, not like she has done in previous runs, so he felt like she was a bit flat before the race. He also thought that the surface didn't really suit her as well, but Anthony, after the race, when I had a chat with him, just was very disappointed with how she performed. She's going to have a vet check, but he just thought she was very flat.
Yeah, you're very, very flat. I think most punters were flat as well. So I suspect, but obviously she's too good to sack off one run. Well, I'd say we assess her after a next dry track run. I'd suspect freshened up till the dry tracks and see what happens.
Oh, yeah, relatively new Group 1, of course, the Surround Stakes, but have a look at this clash coming up. Funstar and Probabile weren't there yesterday. They're just sitting back waiting. Flit has been promoted to second favourite. Libertini's preparation up in the air. Liar will be there. How Romantic, 4 from 4, will be coming up from Melbourne. Rubasaki is in the list after winning the English Sprint. So, the Surround Stakes on Chipping Norton Day in 2 weeks.
Come play with me. Who reloads into the gates, and the red light is on. The gates are back now, and the Apollo and the Rough and Dreamforce jump well as always. Hush Rider showing good muster on the rails. From Angel of Truth, Glenall's out deep, then Elise and Happy Clappers poking through the centre. After 2 lengths came Very Elegant, Come Play With Me, Dance, 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 and Life Less Ordinary is the last one. Hush Rider's gone through to hold the favourite out, Dreamforce. Half length between them, Angel of Truth, third, Elise, right up on the inside in 4th position, and Happy Clapper is between them in 5th. 2 for the back to Glenall. Then came Very Elegant, Come Play With Me, Life Less Ordinary, Dance, Dance, Dance is the last one. At the 800 metres, Hush Rider held out the favourite, Dreamforce. Angel of Truth caught 3 wide. Elise in 4th. A half length on the outside is Happy Clapper. 2 for the back to Very Elegant from Glenall. Come Play With Me, Life Less Ordinary pinned away on the fence, and Dance, Dance, Dance sees them all. Around the turn now, and Hush Rider in front by a length on Dreamforce. Angel of Truth, Elise 4th, and Happy Clapper looking for a bit of room at this point. Glenall is pulling out down to the 300. Hush Rider in front of Dreamforce. Elise goes back to the inside. Dreamforce takes a narrow lead. Elise, those coming through to make a race of it. It's Dreamforce and Elise. They're broken clear from Happy Clapper. Elise the inside of Dreamforce, and Elise's going home best. Elise won the Apollo from Dreamforce, and Happy Clapper third. Then Very Elegant zooming at the end from Dance late on the scene. Come Play With Me, Lifeless Ordinary, Angel of Truth, Glenall, and Hush Rider drifted out of it.
Elise bounces back today to win the Apollo. Elise, a big double for James Cummings today. Flip taking out the light fingers at Group 2 level, and another Group 2 for the stable with Elise. And that man on board on both occasions, Hugh Bowman, bounces back off of her defeat in the Expressway Stakes behind the 3-year-old standout. No 3-year-olds to contend with today. Dreamforce didn't lead as expected. That was Hush Rider, and adds to the tally today to make it his 7th win in this race. So Hugh Bowman working backwards the last years. It was Elise and her turn to bounce back into the winners list after her defeat first up in the Expressway.
Yeah, and who would have thought that, well, I suppose you could have thought that she was in such a close position. She's always been regarded as a back marker who has to ambush, but I suppose with a lot of these stayers in this race, Bowman read the play from barrier 1. He put a third in the fence, and it come down to the last 100 metres here, her and Dreamforce, you know, head and head to the line. Maybe with a run under the belt, just give her the advantage fitness-wise, but I don't want to make any excuses for Dreamforce. He seemed to have his chance. Clapper got held up for a while there, and it was an encouraging return for him. But look, she's a good mare. It'll be interesting to see what the next move for her is, Lizzie. But, yeah, a good race.
It will, and I think we were all surprised that she was going to sit a lot closer than where we thought she wouldn't have sit as close as she did yesterday, but it just showed that with that run under her belt and drawing a kind gate, she's able to position and settle, and I think that's the key with her, being able to settle, and then she doesn't have a long turn of foot, but she has a really quick, short sprint. Of the others, there was just Come Play With Me. He played up at the start, so he was a little bit fresh in the run. Lifeless Ordinary began fairly, and I thought that Dance actually finished off really well, considering she just got held up for a couple of fractions.
Yeah, a couple of other observations from the race. You know, all in all, when you go back and have a look at her a few more times, there was actually, you could give most runners a tick there. A few of those stayers run well. I must say I was very impressed with Very Elegant. The way her attitude, she had the muffs off, the way her race sense during the race, she finished off nicely. I think there's good signs for her. I don't think she was crunched down for that race. There's good signs for her this preparation to say that she has come up very, very well. And like you, Dance, she probably usually wants further, and that's a good first up run. It's a first full preparation for Chris Waller, so she may have come back to a best.
And also Happy Clapper, we have to mention him because last preparation he probably didn't start his preparation off like we wanted him to. He's a little bit backwards in his coat, and he still had improvement to come. This preparation, he's right on song to have a really good one. He was ready to go yesterday, and he will continue to improve.
Apollo Stakes is the Chipping Norton, and they run into Tiakau Shark, who is arriving in town. That's the Doncaster Mile on the first day of the championships, April 4, and Elise is now, well, on the second line. We've got 5 equal favourites for the Doncaster on April 4. Let's go.